welcome to Spotlight on Bensenville. My name is Frank DeSimone, Village President, and your host for this episode. Today we'll be discussing Bensenville's emergency management with our guest, Don Schultz, EMA Coordinator. Don, welcome to the show.
Hi, Frank.
So, can you start by giving us an overview of Bensenville's emergency management agency and its mission?
Certainly. Just generally, EMA exists to help improve the village's preparedness by working with the local departments, police, fire, public works, the village administration, county and state on planning, exercising, which tests those plans then when we hold these exercises, and then also to get information out to the residents on preparedness topics that they can hopefully use to prepare themselves to respond to emergencies when it affects them at their homes.
So what types of emergencies or disasters are most likely to impact the village?
Well, other than and I hate to use the term, common, fires, accidents, we're looking, larger scale, severe weather, tornadoes, the severe cold or heat events, blizzards, something on a much larger scale. Tornadoes are a good example on a large scale event that could affect the village in a devastating way.
Mm-hmm. So in the event of an emergency, how does the village notify the residents and businesses about kind of what's going on and tell them what actions they need to take?
As you know, because we've used it several times, is our notification system, Code Red, which is a great tool that we can reach out to the entire community. We can reach out to a specific area of the community to let them know about something that's going to affect them or potentially affect them. Kind of let them know what it is. We can include things to do or not do in response to whatever the emergency event is. So it's a great tool to have, and we just like to see people opt in by going to the village website, putting their contact information, either if they still have a home landline or now more likely cell phones, put that information in there, and that's what we use to reach out.
We also use social media, our website, right?
Correct. We always kind of tie those together. When we're going to send out a Code Red message, we're talking to our multimedia department. They do a fantastic job of putting that, in a website, type information and kind of support and augment what we're telling them through Code Red.
So what are some key tips for personal preparedness, and can you explain what should one do to get a kit made up, a personal kit?
A Go Kit, which are great to have in case you have to leave for some unforeseen situation, grab and go, so to speak. Obviously, first aid equipment, something to help clean or bandage an injury, flashlight, to have on hand batteries for that flashlight, a cell phone charger, because if you're heading out of the house in a hurry, chances are you may forget that cell phone charger, and you're gonna probably need that cell phone at some point. So just some basic items, could be an extra item of clothing or two. So just some basic items to have, and they're great to have with you in that Go Kit.
If residents are looking for more information on emergency preparedness, where can they find a reliable resource?
A great place to go to is our village website.
Okay.
So go there, click on departments, click on emergency management, and then there'll be some website links that will give them more information. Ready.gov is a great website link to go to. There are others, of course, but they provide all kinds of great preparedness information and just good to know.
So I understand you have some unique equipment. Can you tell us a little bit about the specialized tools and the vehicles that the team uses for these emergencies?
Certainly. We have a rescue squad. It's this big, boxy looking truck that has multiple pieces of equipment on it: portable generator, chainsaws, pump for potential need to pump out some water somewhere, things like that. So it's all ready to go on this one particular vehicle, along with some basic, first aid equipment, things like that, barricade tape, things like that. We have a van that's outfitted primarily for traffic control. It's got cones, these large road signs, road closed ahead, road closed, those kinds of things, all ready to go. And then probably the more unique piece of equipment is the lighting truck.
Light truck, yeah.
It's a great tool. We can light up just a huge area, and it's come in quite handy, and we always get positive feedback from the officers, investigators out at accident scenes, fire scenes, whatever, about bringing that out and being able to light up so they can see almost like the middle of the day.
Right.
They love to see it out there, and we're glad to come out and assist in something like that when it's not generally a positive situation that's happened, and we're doing the best we can to help out.
So who makes up the Bensenville EMA? They're volunteers, I know that,
Yes.
and yourself as well. And what backgrounds do they typically come from?
They're from the local area, mostly, not just Bensenville, kind of the surrounding area. Like you said, volunteers. There is no one type of background. They have one person that's a former municipal wastewater supervisor, another gentleman who's a retired firefighter, and just other full-time jobs, all kinds of different backgrounds and types. So, anybody that has an interest is able to get out and do the things that we do. We're definitely interested in talking to and seeing if they want to come on board and be part of the EMA group.
So to volunteer, you don't have to live in town.
No, not necessarily.
But one good thing about living in town, Don, is when we have an issue, we can call you, right?
Yes.
Because you do live in town.
I do live in town.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Always lived in town my entire life. Lived over here on Lincoln Street, which doesn't exist anymore. But
you don't have to tell everybody your address, because they're going to come for cones and stuff.
No, like you said, I've lived in town my entire life, been involved with the village for many years, enjoy every minute of this thing with emergency management. It's great to be out, and because it's usually a positive thing that we're able to be out and help with a kind of a not so positive event.
Yeah, and it's actually more hands on deck for our officers or our firefighters to not have to worry about blocking off a street or directing traffic for them to be safe in the scene that they're in.
Certainly, and that's one of the things that, we can go out there and put cones or a vehicle across the street, and we can, direct traffic and get that officer back in that squad car to go to the next call, or that firefighter back on that engine so they're ready to go to that next call, and that's one of the things that we can certainly help out the community with. So
tell us, if somebody wants to get involved, how do they do it?
The best way, again, go to the website, get my contact information, go to departments, go to emergency management, you'll see my contact information, send me an email or call the office, talk with me, and what I like to do is set up an appointment to have a face-to-face with the person, explain to them what emergency management does, what it is, and how they can step in and be part of the group, just so they know going in
what they're getting into.
I want to have a good face-to-face with someone that's interested.
I have a couple more questions, but we got to take a break. You have a few minutes for me?
I have a few minutes.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
You're watching Bensenville TV, providing local government programming to residents 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, featuring board meetings, news, events, bulletin boards, and original programming about the services provided by our municipal government and affiliated organizations. Always on, offering community information anytime. To find out more, visit our website, www.bensenville.il.us. Live, learn, explore. Bensenville Community Television.
Hello, welcome back to Spotlight in Bensenville. My name is Frank DeSimone, Village President and your host for this episode. Today we'll be discussing Bensenville's emergency management with our guest, Don Schultz, EMA Coordinator. Welcome back, sir. So jumping right back into some of our questions, I've heard of CERT, C-E-R-T, CERT. What is the Community Emergency Response Team, CERT, and how does it support the EMA's mission?
CERT is essentially what EMA is. It's just a term that's used that, I don't know, for whatever reason, we've just never used or adopted. Used, it's always just been the EMA group. So pretty much it's just EMA, just with a different term, title, I guess.
So just one less letter, same job?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Are there other types of training or certificates available for EMA volunteers?
So yeah, there are a few. When someone comes on board, we like to get them introduced to the National Incident Management System, NIMS. And there are several online courses that they go and take, get a course completion certificate, which gives them a good understanding on, for disaster situations, terminology, the kind of a general idea of there is a plan or a thought to these response activities. It's not, so that's what NIMS attempts to try to get people familiar with. And then again, first aid, CPR, AED, all those useful things to know, which not only help out when they're on a response with EMA, but regular life at home, go on vacation with your family. Something happens, you've got that background, you've got that prepared training.
Right, I agree.
It's great.
It's great. And we teach them all that. So like you said, different. You don't have to have an emergency management background or law enforcement or firefighter. We teach you.
Yeah, traffic control, things like that. That before we put someone out on the street to, in front of the moving
speeding cars,
I got to provide some training.
Absolutely.
And things like that. That just would be unreasonable to just put them out there and expect them to.
Absolutely, I agree.
Safe.
It's a whole different animal out there. Is there a specific time of year that Bensenville EMA accepts new volunteers, or is it ongoing recruitment?
Yeah, there is no specific time. I just need to get out and advertise, recruit. But again, going on the website, there is a form that someone could fill out. It comes to me. I contact the person, and we make that appointment to meet face to face and take it from there. So yeah, just anytime really.
So where and when does the Bensenville EMA typically meet for training or coordination?
We have office space, the community room over at the Emergency Management EMA Police Facility, 345 East Green. We have, like I say, quarters over there. And so that's where we meet, that's where we do our training, and then we move from there when we have some hands-on practical training with equipment, things like that. There's another facility off of Jefferson that we'll move to and use for those training opportunities.
How does the EMA collaborate with other local, state, and federal agencies during large-scale emergencies?
It's similar to ILEAS with law enforcement, MABUS with the fire service, IPWMAN with public works. We work with mutual aid with other community emergency management agencies, the county, and when there's an event, we'll reach out to those communities that have an EMA group that's up and running, and same thing with the county.
Or they can just call, like if they need it, they'll just call Bensenville PD and say, hey.
Yes, it works the same way. We'll reach out to them, they'll reach out to us for mutual aid. It's kind of a reciprocal, they help us, we help them type of deal.
Can you share an example of a recent emergency drill where the Bensenville EMA played a critical role?
Recently we had a full-scale exercise over at the high school, over at Fenton High School. And so two things, we supported the exercise just by working with traffic around the exercise area, limiting just normal traffic just because of the exercise itself. But within the exercise, I was able to use the notification system to notify local officials, yourself, the manager, trustees, just to make sure that if we did have something like that or larger, that you probably already know about it, but I want to make sure that you're notified of this event happening in town. And we were able to do that. I was able to do that with Code Red, and it worked really well. I got a response back from everybody. And so I know the system works.
The system is great. I agree 100% that everybody should sign up for that system. Are there any community outreach or educational programs that EMA offers to help residents stay informed and prepared?
Other than through the website and offering, some of these online courses, I guess we really have to look at seeing what the community, feel for coming into the facility, spending some time. I'm going to say, just for an example, a part of a Saturday to go through different emergency situations, how they can prepare themselves or get involved and do a little more to reach out to the community. So that's something we should be doing.
I agree. And we can, and like I said,
Oh, yeah.
we always answer all the questions. If anybody has a question, I know you're very, very on top of it, and you live in town, so it's okay.
I do.
We'll get a quick response. How does EMA ensure it remains ready for any type of emergency?
You meet with the volunteers on a regular basis to review upcoming events, preparedness for example, now the upcoming colder weather, making sure we have all our gear in place for responding out into the field for a traffic situation or whatever. And then again, just hands-on practical experience training with the equipment that we have, the generators, the pumps, the light truck.
Right.
That's we need to have more than just one or two people that know how to operate things. I want to make sure everybody knows how.
So you regularly train on that?
On all the pieces of equipment, including that light truck. Yes.
So finally, where can residents go to learn more about the Bensenville EMA, the volunteer opportunities, or just general emergency preparedness?
Once again, just the village website, departments, EMA, those links that are in there. Call me. If something just, isn't there, you're not seeing something, give me a call. Leave a message at the office number, and I will get back to them and answer those questions and hopefully interest them in becoming part of the group.
Join. Don, it's always a pleasure talking to you. I mean, you guys do a great job. The volunteers do a great job. Keep up the good work. The residents appreciate it. I know Music in the Park is big for you guys.
Yeah.
4th of July, I know you guys are at all that. And again, thank you for all you do, and thank you for all the time you put in.
Yeah, I enjoy it, and you're very welcome.
And thank you guys for joining us, and be sure to tune in next time for Spotlight in Bensenville.